is Gergo, or Greg, whatever is easier for you. And I'm here to share my little project, Broad Magazine, with you all. But before I do that, I'd like to say a couple of thank yous, because this project was pretty much born here in some ways. I met our designer here when we first started coming here years ago, Andrew Shirley. He moved to Vernon now, but he's a very talented designer, and he's really helped us launch this project, and it wouldn't be the same without meeting here. Also, Ryan, who will be presenting after me, his photograph actually opened our very first issue, so there's lots of great collaborations and good work that came out of coming here. So it's very special to share this project here with you guys right now. And as Ami said, I'm a commercial photographer, and I do volunteer for the event, and yeah, so happy to be here. So let's get into this, and let's see. I don't know if I can operate this. There you go. No. You'll get there. That's our first slide. Anyway, so why make a magazine? It's pretty crazy, right? It's not the most, I would say, rewarding experience sometimes. Financially, definitely not. Ami asked us to bring a project here that involved some changes and pivots and something that was very different in the end, but this one had it all. I started this in 2018, 2017, somewhere there. Instagram was very hot. It was hitting the mainstream, and I was posting a lot of work as a photographer. I was starting to gain a bit of a following and was interacting with all these people around the world. It was all very exciting, and you could see that it was something big, but it was also very confusing. There's a lot of images. This was still in the days when there's not a lot of video on the platform. It was mostly photography, and it was just a lot of amazing, beautiful work, but it was just like flowing out of this huge faucet that just, you couldn't consume it all, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me why we're doing it, besides, promoting ourselves or trying to get our work seen. So in an effort to just make some sense of it and sort of a creative challenge for myself, I wanted to start curating this stuff together into something different. And I mean, I didn't invent the feature account, so to speak, but I wanted to create something that had a bit of a social commentary element to it, and just show our world, show how people live around the world, and maybe gather some ideas, make the world slightly a better place to live, and exchange some ideas with people around us that we're connected with, and really create sort of a visual record of our time. And also maybe the next slide will come up, but you're all creative, so like sharing your work and getting published can be kind of difficult. You send out work, you get zero feedback, or just it's very hard. So I wanted to create a platform where it's a little bit more accessible. People can talk to us. If somebody writes to us, we actually get back to them or give feedback, and create a true community where people actually pay attention to the material that's being presented, and you can interact with it. So when I just sat down and created an account, called it Broad. I wanted it to be obvious that it's going to be a wide thing. It's not focused on one particular genre, or I wanted to make something about the world, and then we did. So we used this recipe here. We started with community. I was really, when we first set out, really wanted to build a community around this. I already had a bunch of artists I was in touch with, so I started asking them to send me work. A lot of them did, some of them didn't. We had like 20 followers or something. Who wants to put their work up on a platform like that? But some people did, and then we got some really amazing work, and we just kept sharing more and more. And we went into it with a lot of curiosity. I really tried to pick some challenging stuff to show. It wasn't just the visual appeal of it. I really went for stuff that had some substance to it. And in this process, we kept building a platform. It was growing. It started growing as soon as we went into it. And one day, it got featured on Instagram, and we went absolutely viral. It was within a short period of time, our account blew up. We were in a lot of places, and in some ways, getting to, like from a couple thousand people to 100,000 people following you, it almost broke this whole project. We got really excited, and then we started having these huge plans. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I spent a bunch of money. I started from the very beginning. I wanted to do a print issue of this. It wasn't. I didn't mean it to be just a digital platform. I really wanted to make something physical. So I was encouraged by this, and I started spending all this money on getting the best paper and go talk to the best printers. Spent thousands of dollars on getting some test prints done, thinking, oh, we're gonna recoup all this. This is gonna be fine. We're gonna sell a lot of these. This is amazing. And then in this process, we created a monster. This thing was just it was something. It was thick. It was heavy. It wasn't a magazine. It was an artifact. It was just so heavy. You could fight with this thing. And it was a monster. It was a beautiful monster. It was the best thing I've ever made, or as a team we put together. We were very proud of it. It was beautiful from the very beginning to the end. It was beautifully put together. You can see a little bit of the first issue. That's actually Andrew holding the magazine in Kid's Speech when we did this. And then COVID came, and then we had all these parties planned. We were supposed to fly down to Santa Fe, do the school opening party with a bunch of artists from the magazine. We had a whole a really cool motel reserved for us, and then we were gonna put pictures in the pool, and it was we spent a lot of money on this and prepared a lot. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't travel. I was sitting in my bedroom, was stacked full of magazines, boxes and boxes full of this stuff, and yeah, it was pretty depressing. I'm not gonna lie. It was not a success. It was a beautiful thing that kind of just sat there. And so I was sitting at home. It was COVID. We didn't do anything. And then I got an email from a gallery in New York, and they were like, "Oh, we really like what you made, and how about we do a show together, and you make an issue." That was one of those. And then I sat down, said, "Yes, I'm gonna give this another shot." And kind of condensed it down to something a little bit smaller, more manageable. I learned my lesson from the first edition, made it a little bit smaller, and really focused on the artists that were in this issue. We did an open call through the gallery, and it was, when this came together and it came out, it sold out immediately. We did an amazing show with them, and all of a sudden, the project turned around, and I really chalked it up to the fact that we started actually focus. I had time to really focus on the work and the artists that are sending in their work, and I really worked with all of them to really polish it to the best of our abilities, and kind of took this template after that, and then made another one, and then the COVID restrictions ended finally, and then we did another open call down here with another gallery. And then started doing some shows for the Capture Photo Festival. We've done lots of different. With each issue, we try to do an actual gallery show as well. And we're a platform now where a lot of artists are publishing their work for the first time. So I'm really proud of that. That is the feedback that I get from people that we work with. That this is the first time they were able to show their work in a way that was accessible to people. And there isn't a lot out there where they can have this experience, and I just love making this thing just for this very reason. And that my main takeaway from this would be just believe in yourself. This was purely a passion project for me that took a life of its own, and I believed in it until the very end, and just pushed through that the worst part where you just you really don't see the reason why we started it in the first place, and just try to when you're working on your own work on the stuff that you like to do, and put your mind to it a little bit, and it's easier to give up something like this than to push through it. So that really was my lesson from it, and now it opened up so many doors for me in my own work. I worked with all these amazing organizations and galleries that I would have never been in touch with otherwise. So lots of great opportunities came out of it, and I was able to provide the same kind of opportunities to artists from all over the world now. So that's really all my presentation. I'm going to take the opportunity to plug our next show. It's coming up in December 14th at Gallery 881 right here in town. We're putting out a new issue. The topic is youth. And we're going to have 36 international artists presenting their work there. And if you scan the QR code, we can be friends, and hopefully you can come out and buy some art and check out some magazines and have some fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you.